All right. Does anyone have any questions, any thoughts, any cognitions, any wins, any postulates, any corrections, anything that needs to be fixed, corrected, or adjusted? Yes, no, yes, no.
Nope.
I had a question,
Okay.
brother. Brother Lukman, you said that you and your wife were going to do the SRD. What is the SRD again?
The SRD is called the Survival Rundown. It is the second step that's needed in order to go clear. Um, the first step is called the Purif, and the Purif is what allows you to go through the process of getting all the past toxins out of the body. There's a book called Clear Body, Clear Mind by L. Ron Hubbard. And in that book, he discusses how there's certain chemicals, things from the past, back when it could be medications, it could be drugs, it could be weed, it could be alcohol, it could be any foreign substance that we internalized in the past, and those chemicals remain in the body for a prolonged period of time. So that even if we stopped drinking or smoking 10 or 15 years ago, a lot of those toxins are still trapped in the body. And what happens is during the pure, if you go through a real intense regimen of vitamins and minerals, and it is a lot of sauna. You do a lot of work in the sauna to sweat and get those toxins out of the body. One of the things that's actually keeping us mentally deranged is also the chemicals that we're taking into the body. And so the first process is to get rid of the old stuff. Um, it almost follows the principle of can you put new wine in an old wineskin? So what you're striving to do is to get a new wineskin. Make sense?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
sir.
Okay. And then I know for me personally, when I did the Purif, after about the first week, I left the sauna and because you can leave the sauna, want to take a cold shower and then go back in. Because I mean, anyone who can stay in a sauna, from 9 to 12 straight you're a super person. I couldn't do it. But you can go take a shower, you can leave, walk around, cool off, and go back in. And when after I jumped in, I took a cold shower to cool off. I dried off with the towel, and I noticed this brown residue on the towel. And when I smelt the brown residue, it smelled like smoke. So for me, it could have been all the years of working at the fire department, and I still had a lot of those hydrocarbons and toxins um, in my body.
Are you
Right.
saying purith? Are you saying Purith?
Nope, like purification,
Purifs.
like purification, but they call it the purif, Purif.
Okay, all right.
Mhm.
That's what I thought you said. Wasn't sure.
So that's step one. Step two is what I had already started it last year, but I lost. You do what's called a co-audit with another person. I lost my twin, so um, the part of the SRD I can explain based on my experience is the first part. Because really the whole point of being clear, and based on my understanding and based on what I've observed, going clear really boils down to, and Sister Patricia might be able to bear witness to this based on what she has seen. Okay, I'm getting emails in as we're talking. Um, Part of being clear is, if I was to explain it from a biblical standpoint, it would be the equivalent of being in the world and not being of it. Meaning you're in the midst of all this madness, but you don't allow the madness to affect you. Does that make sense, Sister Patricia? Would that would
Yes,
that be
sir.
that'd be a good interpretation? And so you start your SRD, survival rundown, confronting uh, the major opponent or the author of the majority of your problems, and that is yourself. You start out with something called TR0, eyes closed, and basically is like a form of I don't want to say it's meditation, but I would say that in the environment we're in right now with social media and cell phones, one of the hardest things for people to do is to sit still and do nothing because we're dopamine junkies. We need that dopamine hit from the scrolling and the texting, and I got to check and see how many likes I have, and uh, did they respond to my, this, and so really the SRD is teaching you to really sit still and bring yourself back in the present time and deal with yourself. And then you have to deal with confronting, where you have what's called TR0, eyes open, and you really what you do is you sit across from someone and you just sit face to face. You don't say anything. You just look at one another without speaking. And some people might say, well, why is that significant? Some of us find it hard to even keep eye contact with people. And for us as Black people, that is something that's left over from slavery because we were never allowed to have eye contact with the slave master, correct? Everyone with me?
That's correct.
Mhm. We were told that we had to look. There was one rule where you had to look down at the toe of the slave master's shoe.
It
You
was
want to,
disrespectful. It
yeah,
was
exactly.
disrespectful
Your eyeball. Mhm.
right.
You could never eyeball the slave master. So some of us have a hard time maintaining eye contact. Um, I've noticed there have been times when I've done TR0, eyes open with another person, and I could see in that person how very uncomfortable they were. I mean, you can read the body language. Um, it makes some people nervous. It probably makes some people nauseous. It's eye contact is a powerful thing. Um, I remember Sister Ava, may Allah be pleased with her, during the Mind Wars lecture she did in the 90s. And she had mentioned about making eye contact. And she had mentioned that there's energy that's transferred when you make eye contact. And she said sometimes, when you deal with racist people, one of the reasons why they don't like that eye contact is because when they look into our eyes, they see the 400 years of slavery that their people put our people through, and it makes them uncomfortable. Then when you get to TR1, that's called Dear Alice. And what it really is, it's learning how to communicate. But when you communicate with intention. You don't just talk. You're communicating and your mind is focused, your energy is present, and you're communicating effectively. So that's kind of like a quick synopsis of there's more to the SRD, but I don't want to sit here and babble on about the whole process. But the beauty is once you do your Purif and your SRD, well, once you do the Purif and SRD, the SRD is the bulk of what it takes to get to that point of clear. Um, Anyone who would like to experience what those processes involve, I would highly recommend going to Flag and getting involved with what's taking place in Flag right now down in Clearwater and experience and you receive the benefits of going through the process and to see what it's like. And I can tell you based on my experience, it was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. So, and down there they have a great deal of respect for the members of the NOI, and they really lay out the red carpet for us. There's one thing I know is in place, and that is if you stay there for a prolonged period of time, if you can, um, they have a hotel that's there. It's the cleanest hotel I've ever seen in my life, and it's got the best energy I've ever experienced in my life. And if you're there for a prolonged period of time, because they're aware of our specific type of diet, like the bean soup and whatnot, they will actually reproduce the bean soup for you. And you can have that as part of your meal. They actually will put that on the menu specifically for you, as a member of the NOI, because they really do everything they can to make things as comfortable and as hospitable for us as they can. So I know that's a long-winded response just to Heidi, but um, those two processes are very. I gained a lot from them. I gained a lot, and the little bit I've done with the SRD, I've gained a lot from it, and I can see a difference even up to this point with the little bit I've done, how I react to people and how I don't react to people now. So I hope that answered your question, Sister Heidi.
Yes, thank you.
You're very welcome. Let's see. We got Sister Elizabeth. I'm guessing, is that Sister Dora?
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, sir.
Walaikum salam. How are you, Sister Dora?
I'm doing fine, thank you. And you?
Uh, Grateful and thankful.
Yes, sir.
Grateful and thankful. My wife was making fun of me yesterday. I sent her a video of the snow up here, and she sent me a clip of the sun down in Clearwater.
Oh, yes, sir. It's cold here. We don't have the snow, we don't have the sun, but it's cold.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we got about maybe 3 or 4 inches yesterday.
Oh, wow.
But the temperatures increased, the sun's out, and it looks like it's already starting to melt. So
A good thing.
yeah, I'm done with these winters. Sister Jeanette, assalamu alaikum.
Well, Alaikum Salam, family. How are you,
How
brother?
doing fine, and yourself?
Fine by Allah's grace and mercy.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
praise is due to Allah.
Yes, ma'am. All praise is due to Allah. And y'all know what I'm about to say, right? Live and direct
Navigator.
from the mother wheel.
Assalamu alaikum, family.
Walaikum
Happy
salam, Sister
Savior's
Angela.
Day.
Happy
How was
Savior's
looking up there?
Day. You tell me. I'm down here where the snow is.
So am I.
How did you get hit out there in New Jersey? Did you get hit
No,
big?
actually, we just got it. It was rain. It wasn't cold enough to make it
Okay.
snow.
I think the majority of it, like up towards Albany, they're looking at possibly 5 to 8 inches, or mostly like maybe no, 8 to 12 inches. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, I'm done with it. Been there, done it, got the t-shirt, ready to go. Anyway. All right, family, let's jump into it. We said we're gonna start with the washing of the feet. Now, I don't know the context of why the minister made the statement in the clip. Are we aware of where he said that in the clip? Do we need to replay the clip?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, let me see if I can pull the clip up real quick. Let me. Right, right. Okay, they can hear. They'll be able to hear it good through the region. Okay, then run the tape, please. I found something that I know we need that would enable us to express the supreme wisdom that we already have, but it's like having a safe full of riches, but we lost the combination. Yeah. So through Brother L. Ron Hubbard, we can open the wisdom that we have and execute that wisdom.
in a way that Scientology will be proud of us and we of them, but we are not a people that hide our light under a bushel basket. If we know that we gain something here, we're not the type of people that are ungrateful for what we receive, that allows us to be better than what we are. I believe that Master Farad Muhammad knew that a meeting was going to take place like this. I don't know whether he met Brother L. Ron Hubbard, but I believe there was some contact. Scientists are like that. They meet in small little groups and they talk. And when they share with one another, they grasp little truths. They expand on. Yes. There's something here that belongs to us. And L. Ron Hubbard was a man we were destined to meet at the proper time. So when you mention, washing feet, I sat there with tears in my eyes because the greatest gift that I could give you was to give you that which would make you what you know you already are. You understand? And if you don't, think about what I'm saying. The greatest gift that you could receive after the supreme wisdom is the technology that will allow you to manifest it. And that technology is here. I discovered it, and I wanted you to see what I saw, hear what I heard, feel what I felt, so that you wouldn't be timid or afraid of knowledge that will help us to be ourselves. And so I invite you. And as I watched you relate to each other tonight, I said every believer in the nation needs what you experienced in this week. Nobody can lead in our nation until and unless they become clear. Are you with me? We have no school of theology. We just study the word and do the best we can, but the time is out for that. Everybody has to be qualified to have a position or post in the Nation of Islam. Master Farad said the Nation of Islam is all wise and does everything right and exact. Mistakes shall not exist in the nation. Meaning they'll be made, but you wipe them out by doing better. So I'm grateful that you came. And now, as I see my time is coming, whatever that may mean to you, if I could leave you with a science and a technology that will open up the wisdom that you have quoted for years, but when you look at accomplishment, wisdom is known of its children. It's not what you say, it's what you can produce. So I hope, as Brother Shane has said, and this is not an end, this is a beginning, I pray, of a long and beautiful relationship. L. Ron Hubbard would be proud at this moment. As I sat listening to you, I said we need to go back to Chicago and set up a training center where we can bring all those who would want to be a part of this mission into Chicago like they do at their Mecca in Florida, and teach them and train them and then send them out with qualification to do the job of the resurrection of our people. And I got to go now, but I tell you, I hope that you all have a safe flight tomorrow. In fact, I think you'll be flying without a plane. Can't wait to get home to go to work. I can't wait until everyone who wants to labor in this cause goes through what you just went through this week. I'm just grateful to all. May Allah bless you.
All right, family. Let's see who came in. Sister Sharon Forex. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Happy Savior's Day. I came in at the right moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Praise
I'm
to Allah.
glad you're here. All praise due to Allah.
Yes, sir. I have a question, Brother Lukman.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you have that transcribed?
Yes. If you go back to your email on November, what was the date, Sister Patricia?
16th, I believe.
16.
November
16th.
November 16th?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sister Sharon, if you go back to your check your email from November 16th, I actually I put together with the help of Allah a study like a list of study questions with the transcribed lecture, or not lecture, but the words that the minister was sharing, actually transcribed. So you have a transcription and you have the study questions that go along with it in your email.
Oh, praise be to Allah. See there? Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Thank you.
You're very welcome. But before we get started, I want to address something. And this is an example. I mean, the best example we can have of what they call TR40 on a person, or tone, not TR40, tone 40, excuse me, tone 40 on a person. The best example I can think of is when the minister did that press conference where the dude tried to make some statements about Master Muhammad, and the minister spanked him in a very humble and righteous way. You remember that clip?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
If anyone can find that clip real quick on YouTube and put it in the chat, I'll play it. So it's a part of this Zoom meeting. It's a wonderful. Actually, you can take any of the ministers where he spoke with the press.
Mike
And
Wallace,
when people
that's-
have made statements that might have caused us Donahue was a great one, actually, with on the Phil Donahue show. That's another good one. How the minister was able to handle the not just the questions, but the negative emotion that was behind the question. Y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when people were saying and doing certain things, the minister, he kept his composure, he kept his demeanor, and that is a great example of tone 40.
I think Barbara Walters was the epitome because women attack differently,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
they thought they set the minister up so well with her.
Hmm.
He ate her up so beautifully that they reserved the fact that President Nixon passed. He passed earlier that day, but they never mentioned it. They used it in case they needed to interrupt your scheduled
Yeah,
programming
that's
for this news flash.
yeah. They want to just in case, you know. Uh, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Some of y'all might know what that means, but yeah. Um,
Okay, I think I'll
okay,
go looking.
okay. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is this: I've been receiving a lot of flack on YouTube with people leaving some comments. Um, and I really, Sister Heidi, this is what the TRs do. It allows you to really slow down a little bit enough to see certain things. And then you say to yourself, okay, instead of me getting emotional, how can I use this to my advantage? And so I'm thankful for one of the individuals who made the comments that he made, because now with the help of Allah, use that to hopefully get into a dialogue that maybe down the road, you never know, he might be a part of the Zoom meeting. You never know. It seems like everyone has, well, I can't, not everyone, excuse me, not everyone. There are certain people that have a problem with us getting information or getting wisdom from L. Ron Hubbard, who is a Caucasian man. And the same people that have problems with this are probably people that work jobs that are owned by Caucasian people. They rent an apartment from a landlord who is a Caucasian. Um, so it's actually kind of amusing. Does that make sense, family?
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yes, sir.
it's kind of amusing that we pick and choose when we should deal with Caucasian people and then when we shouldn't deal with Caucasian people. Some of us will make those statements, but we go to a church where there's a Caucasian Jesus, and we go to college where there's a Caucasian professor. But I'm actually glad this individual made the statements that he made. And what I wanted to touch on real quick before we hit question 16, anyone who has their lessons, let's look at the lessons for just a quick minute. And we're going to try to navigate through something real quick with the hopes that the majority of the time, when I come in contact with individuals like this on either Facebook or YouTube, mostly Facebook, I don't try to present information to try to convince people or to convert people. And my logic follows along these lines. If the minister couldn't convince you, then there's nothing I can do to convince you. Because the minister is the best representative of the teachings, correct?
Absolutely.
That makes sense. So if you've listened to the minister and the minister was not able to convince you of the validity or the truth of these teachings, then I don't think I would be able to do it. So I don't try. But when I address issues like this online, I'm really trying to present the information or present the data for the other people that are observing the comments, that it gives them or reinforces their thoughts or inspires in them to have a desire to gain more information to learn more. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I remember a while ago, I learned a valuable lesson um, that when a farmer wants to produce better crops, to produce better fruit, what's something that a farmer can use to improve on their crop?
Fertilizer.
Fertilizer, which is also called what?
I don't know.
Manure.
Manure, or it's a whole lot of
Dung.
okay.
Dung. Yeah.
Dung and manure are the good words we can use, but
Right.
we know it's also called something else.
Yeah.
So my father used to always, certain times he would call people um, crap heads, but he didn't say crap heads. He called them by the other phrase, and I'm quite sure you know what I'm talking about. And then I realized that dung-like people, manure-like people are actually good. They serve a purpose and a benefit because they actually help us grow. Does that make sense?
Yes. Every knock is a boost. Yeah, they
Right.
do.
So the people that because really my thought is if you really feel that way about the Zoom presentation and you feel that way about the message, why are you here? You can go and do there's so many other things you can do. Why do you feel the need to come here and basically vomit uh, or defecate on the space that we're trying to use to inspire people to do other things, to do greater things? But then I realized that, you know, and it's in harmony with the teachings and it's in harmony with what the minister taught or is teaching, that person is just dramatizing. So I want to look at three questions real quick, and I mean very, very quick, because this right here, this topic could actually we could do this topic for the next month or two. But I want to pose a question, and this is for the individuals also that might watch the Zoom meeting and decide that they want to add their comments. It's fine. Your comments are welcomed. But if I pose this question to us in the Zoom meeting, is there anyone that exists outside of the 10%, the 85%, and the 5%? Is there another category that we don't know about, or do we kind of all fall under one of those three categories?
Both fall under one of those.
Okay. Because I've never heard of anything outside of 85, 10, and 5%, because when you add those together, you get 100%, right?
Right.
Okay. So that would imply, if we just use just basic logic, a person is either a 5%er, a 10%er, or an 85%er. Now, that being the case, when an individual is striving to promote good, that person would fall under what category?
5%.
5%, right? The 5%er. So when a person speaks against that individual that is promoting good, that person would fall under one of two categories. What would they be?
10%. They would have to be at 10%, right?
Or they could be what?
85.
Or an 85%er. Okay, they could be one of either one of those categories. Because you have an individual that's speaking against the 5%er, because the 10% is doing what? They're maintaining their whole environment off of the backs of the 85%.
85%.
Say that again?
Okay.
I didn't hear you, Sister Jeanette.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
I apologize.
That's
I gotta
okay.
turn.
No problem. So the 10% are going to speak against the 5% because the 5% are trying to wake up the 85%. So of course the 10% are going to speak against the 5%, but then the 85% are going to speak against the 5% because they love the devil because the devil gives them what?
Nothing.
Nothing. So for an individual to come on the YouTube channel and make the comments that they make, the 10% wouldn't even waste their time making comments on YouTube channel. So the individual that speaks against the teachings, that speaks against the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, they would only fall into one category, which would be what? Come on, family.
I'm sorry.
85%.
They have to fall under the 85%. So when that person is making those negative comments, you almost got to understand this is a slave from mental death. They have to make these comments because something in this Zoom meeting did what to them? It might have caused a restimulation.
It triggered them, yeah.
It triggered them. So really what we're seeing when a person is saying the things they're saying, that is a person that needs some auditing. That is a person that is in processing. If you look at the tone scale, 3.0 and above could potentially represent which one of these percentages? Would it represent the 5%, the 10%, or the 85%?
The 5%.
Yes, ma'am. The 5%. Why? When you look at the lesson, it says, because the 5% is dealing with civilization. What is the meaning of civilization? One having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement, and is not savage. Pursuit of happiness. Now, as soon as you're dealing with pursuit of happiness, you're above 3.0, aren't you?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're above. Then it says, what is the duty of a civilized person? And the answer is to teach the uncivilized people who are savage civilization, righteousness, the knowledge of self, the science of everything in life, and love, peace, and happiness, correct?
Yes.
Now, all of that is taught by the 5% from our perspective. But if you have had any interaction with the church and processing and extension courses and whatnot, now I'm not saying every encounter has been perfect. I'm not saying that, but there's no perfection in anything, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But when you look at processing, when you look at what takes place above 3.0, don't you see righteousness?
Yes, sir.
Have you learned anything about the knowledge of self by going through the processes?
Yes, sir.
Have you started learning about the science of things?
Yes.
sir.
Have you learned how to love again?
Yes, sir.
Have you found some peace?
Yes, sir.
Have you
Yeah.
found some happiness?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then when you look at the processes, when you look at auditing, people want to make comments about auditing and processing. But from the perspective of a 5%er, if our duty is to teach the science of everything in life, then one way of looking at processing is to understand that this is a science that's dealing with the rebooting of the limbic system in the brain. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Y'all follow that?
Yeah, it's kind of heavy.
Okay. Now, I haven't spoken to anyone yet in the org about this. But this is just, research that I do on my own. I want to be able to, because our lesson, this is for us. Our lessons say teach the science of everything in life. So yeah, we study the processes in the org, but as a 5%er, I want to know the science behind it.
Absolutely.
Because now when I speak to individuals about the auditing and the processing and the different elements of the limbic system and how the hippocampus relates to the amygdala and the fornix and these different things and how they relate to the prefrontal cortex and you start dealing with hormones, that's the job of a 5%er. Our job is to study the science of everything in life, correct?
Yes.
who we are, yes.
Okay. Because we're said we're all wise and righteous, and we strive to do everything what? Right and exact,
Right and
right?
exact.
Okay. I don't want to just learn the tech, I want to be able to prove it.
Yes, sir.
So
Otherwise, you don't know it. If you can't prove it, you don't know it.
then you're just parakeeting it. You're reciting, and that's a good starting point. Knowing is good. Knowing what is good, but knowing why shows that you understand what you know.
Absolutely.
So why does processing work? Why is there something like a time track? Why is there something like a file clerk? Why is there something like a reactive mind? Well, when you study the limbic system and you study the hippocampus, and some of these are actually mentioned in study guide number 18, Rising Above Emotion into the Mind and Thinking of God. But the hippocampus is a place in the brain where all the events of your life are recorded. Excuse me? I thought someone said something.
I think somebody needs to mute. Getting a lot of feedback.
So your hippocampus in the brain records information that you've experienced. The fornix is a part of this loop. It's called the Papez circuit, Papez, the Papez circuit, which is the hippocampus, the fornix, and the mammillary bodies. The fornix allows the system to read what is in the hippocampus. And then the mammillary bodies is the part of the limbic system that allows recall. Do y'all follow that? Everyone with me so far?
Yes.
So these are things that when you're done, go back to study guide number 18 and read that, but go do the research on your own, and you'll see that the tech of Dianetics at the time in the 50s really was ahead of its time back then. And if you study the books in present time, there's a lot of books on the market right now dealing with handling pain from the past. There's a lot of individuals speaking about it now, and they're providing a lot of the scientific data that support what they're teaching, but they're all reiterating what Dianetics was saying back in 1950. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Everyone is just reiterating, and I would go as far as say some people are plagiarizing. They're stealing the data and then putting it in the fine language that they know, and then putting their name on it as if they're the author of it. But if you even go back even further than that, thousands of years ago, our ancestors already had this knowledge. Okay. Anyway, when we do auditing, we're dealing with the memories, but we're also dealing with the emotion that is attached, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what happens in the brain when you're dealing with the memories on that level, you're dealing with this circuit, the hippocampus, the fornix, and the mammillary bodies in conjunction with the amygdala. Now, if you go into study guide number 18, Minister Farrakhan mentions the amygdala and the purpose of it. The amygdala, it would appear, would be the reactive mind. This is where the emotion is. So when you're dealing with the memory and you're putting the amygdala here, you got memory, but the memory is going through another circuit where the emotion is. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you're dealing with light processing, you're dealing with the same circuit, but you don't have the amygdala connected. So now you're just dealing with the memory without the emotion. Make sense? Light processing and heavy processing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's a viable science. It's neuroscience, and it is in agreement with Dianetics Book 1. This is what the 5% would be teaching. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Now, question. Could the 5%ers, are the 5%ers just black people? Or could they be black, brown, red, yellow, or white?
It could be any color.
Exactly, right? The 5%ers could be any color because it says what? It says teach the supreme being. It said living God is the Son of Man, the supreme being, the black man of Asia, and they teach freedom, justice, and equality to just black people. Is that what the lesson says? They just teach black people?
No, to the
It says to teach
family,
all the
right?
human family of the planet Earth, right?
Right.
Y'all with me?
I'm with you.
So then it says otherwise known as civilized people. So that means there are some black, some brown, some red, some yellow, and some white that are civilized. They are teaching knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement, and they are not savage. And they have the pursuit of happiness. They are teaching righteousness, the knowledge of self, the science of everything in life. So there's no color, there's no one group that has the monopoly in that, correct?
Right.
And then it says also are Muslim and Muslim sons. So for an individual to think that it's incorrect to gain truth from an individual because of their skin color, they would have to be an 85%er, wouldn't they? Someone on
Yes.
hold. So that means that the person that would make those comments, they must be taking things on face value, wouldn't they? Because that's what 85% does, right? 85%
Yes, sir.
takes things on face value. And when you take things on face value, it means you don't study, do you?
Right.
Okay. So I just wanted to put that out there. Yeah, go ahead, Sister Sharon.
Well, not only that, but if a person held that belief, then they would have the same problem that white people have because they believe, if they believe that everybody else is lesser than them, it's the same as saying that only I can have knowledge, that only knowledge can come from me. So they would be exhibiting belief. Because it might just not be, they just might not be conscious of it. But if you look at it mathematically, it's like them having the same issue. Oh, I can only take truth from a black person. I can't take it from anybody. Either means you don't understand what truth is, or you know what I mean? It registers as something is sick, something is off, if you
Right.
believe that. But I think there's a lack of investigation on that part. It's just taking, it's like what you said, just taking the belief and swallowing it without investigation. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yes, ma'am. The minister said it like this, and I know probably everyone here has heard this. The minister said that the wino don't care about the color of the bottle. That's how I remember the minister saying it. He said the wino don't care about the label. Well, I'm adding to it, but the minister had used the example of the wine bottle. He said the wino don't care about the color of the label. He just wants what's in the bottle, right?
Gotcha.
We should be the same way about wisdom.
About
And
knowledge.
we should be intelligent enough to discern valid information versus invalid information. So for those that would observe the Zoom meetings and feel the need to leave comments, you can leave the comments. That's fine. But at least substantiate your statement with some documentation or some knowledge or some understanding. Don't just flatulate verbally, and then I'm gonna say it like that to keep it clean, because that's, to me, is what it is.
If they could do all of that, they wouldn't have a problem, though, brother. If they could do that, then they would. Yeah.
At least make some sense with your support your statement with some type of research or something that you can use to prove that your statement is true. But to make a statement and then you disappear, that's, it is what it is. That's the work of an 85%er. Go ahead, Sister Angela.
Yes, sir. I'm listening. It's like, okay, I would start like this. I'm gonna strive to interconnect this to the foot washing.
Okay, that's a good segue.
And
That's where we're going anyway.
yeah, I know.
Uh-huh.
And I put a clip of the minister in the chat. Is on Donahue.
Okay.
If we started at 10 minutes, you don't really have to do it right now, but if we get a chance,
Mm-hmm.
start at 10-minute timestamp, and you'll see an FOI speaking, because one of the Caucasian people got up and basically said she wasn't racist, but she think the minister is.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, most of the black people, especially registered believers, is hotter than lava in the audience. And you can see this in the FOI's continents. He spoke for a couple of minutes, which was, in the presence of the minister is almost unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
He was just that upset. So to answer your question and tie it to this foot washing, it's almost like the Matrix to me. A 5%er not on guard has the potential to become a 10%er and an 85%er.
Mm-hmm.
How, Sister Angela? Well, watching the FOI, he was right. He had the truth. He just delivered it in a fiery spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And what the minister's saying on the clip with the Dianetics in the washing of the feet, he is expressing it to those in authority in particular. That's the one I went to. Can't be over authority if you got these things in you that can cause us to hurt people, ourselves, and abuse authority. So it's almost like night and day, because after the brother speaks, the minister speaks right after him. And the minister sounds like a lamb. The brother just sounds like a lion. The minister sounds like a lamb, but the effect was like a lion. You understand what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
So the washing of the feet, I looked it up, and it's something I come to understand in study group. We have to be able to become humble gods. We have power, but we don't abuse it.
Mm-hmm.
The minister washing our feet is preparing us to walk in the path that he has walked in a humble way.
Mm-hmm.
Sister Shayla, praise be to Allah. She in school. So those with light in our heads, we have a very daunting task. We have to be able to control the fire like the burning bush.
That's right.
And the blessing in it that we have a living, perfected example in front of us. And no matter, because I'm going to tell you, I don't think nobody was as mad, angry, or deadlier than I was when I watched Aretha Franklin's funeral, when they did not give the minister a chance to speak. And I was taught a very good lesson in that.
Mm-hmm.
He spoke volumes by not speaking. Prayer time. So we were at the ADL. I don't know if you remember. You probably remember this, Brother Luke Mine. This was, I think, the year after the Million Man March, right? The very 1996. We at the ADL on Wall Street. We are at a place that they used to bring the slaves and put them on the selling block.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jews out there saying, "Who do you want, Farrakhan? How do you want them? Dead." Now, I'm a young, very young vanguard at the time. We were so serious. We had on, in our white, we still had on combat boots, construction boots, because we were so fired up about them even suggesting the death of the minister. And here he comes, being the humble God that he is. and not even, how can I say, it did not deter him, and he delivered a very clear message that quieted everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Where were they? They were nowhere to be found by the time he got a few minutes into his subject. All the noise just fell away. So watching so many of these, the Israelites brothers, and we go into the Apollo with Betty Shabazz, and they out there off with his head, and we looking at them like, oh, y'all think the sisters can't bring it? That's what y'all think we won't fight. And here come Allah again showing us all the FOI had to do was show up. All the noise quiet down. So
That was when Brother Captain Dennis escorted all of us from number 7 down to a corner, and I remember we went single file, and he told the instructions were we were to remain silent, and we filed from number 7, and we walked down to where there was a group of individuals that were talking all that jazz, in other words. And when they saw the line just kept coming and kept coming, and then we surrounded them.
Yes, Lord.
The sound that they made was indirectly proportional to the amount of brothers. So as they saw the brothers, all of a sudden the voices, and like the ministers would say, they had like little raisins, if you understand what I'm saying. And I remember Captain Dennis, he handled it so perfectly that by the time we left, he was showing the brothers love and letting them know, we're trying to squash the beef, and I'll never forget that was 1996.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. I remember that to this day.
And it allowed the sisters to go back into our feminine energy, because we was standing up on the bus. Like,
isn't that how it all started, sisters? The brother said something to the sisters?
Yeah, they were. I mean, one sister just engaged on the bus. She just opened the window and went in. That Mars 25 vibe right there. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I did that in the motorcade, but that's another story. So, and this brother, he engaged, and here come the FOY, and it just faded. The sounds just faded.
Yep.
And because the presence was so profound, it even soothed the sisters. So we were able to be escorted in peace. Be our naturally feminine, beautiful selves.
Yeah, that was a wonderful experience, and seeing what fear. And I'm not rejoicing that the brothers were fearful, but it was just, I was at that time fairly young, and seeing an individual talking as FOI were coming, and he was talking trash, but the line wasn't ending.
Nope.
And they thought, I guess, we were going to walk past them, but we formed a horseshoe right around, and we were like 8, 9, 10 ranks deep. It's like, you ain't leaving. We got you right here. You ain't going nowhere. We're going to deal with this. And Brother Captain Dennis handled it so superbly. But you can see some of them brothers were they were nervous.
Yes, sir.
But like you said, sometimes what you don't say speaks volumes. And that's because an individual can project their intention without saying anything. And the minister has that ability. So, praise be to God. Thank you, Sister Angela. You just brought back a pleasure moment. Anyone else before we walk down the road of washing the feet? All right. So I'm gonna share what I was studying. I don't, like I said, I don't know the context of why the minister used that phrase, but I will say this. Could we say the washing of the feet? Could we say that's a parable? Could we say that? Okay. in the Bible, Jesus was asked, they said, why do you speak in parables? He said, because there will be those who see and see not. There will be those who hear and hear not, nor will they understand. In other words, Jesus spoke a language that was a different frequency. And it's just like, what is it, two-minute psychometry? You have to get to this on the same frequency to communicate with an individual. Is that what it is, Sister Angela?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's 2-minute psychometry. So you can take that concept of 2-minute psychometry and relate it to what Jesus said. What Jesus is saying is, if I'm speaking on a certain level, all of those whose mind are on this frequency will be able to pick up my message. And those whose minds are not on my frequency, the message would just go right over the head. You've heard that before, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. And it's just like, you know, on a fire ground, you have different radio channel frequencies. And if I want to communicate with the chief, I have to be on the same frequency as the chief. But then if I want to be in the frequency of the other firefighters, I can switch my radio, where I can speak to the firefighters, the chief won't hear me, or I can speak to the chief and the firefighters won't hear me. It's about frequency. So parable, Jesus speaking in parable, one of the things it represents is speaking on a higher frequency. And those who have a higher frequency mindset will say, oh, that was deep. Some of us have had the experience. We've gone to hear the minister teach. We've been with friends or family. And we could say, oh, man, remember when the minister said this? Oh, that was powerful. And someone else might say, I don't even understand what was said. Okay.
But what makes it so powerful?
Yeah, what was it? And that you'll find in Surah 2, ayat number 26. Allah disdains not to set forth a parable in that or anything above that. And then when you look at that ayat, it says that there'll be those who will look at the parable and they say, truly or surely, this is the truth from your Lord. And there are those going to say, what is it that Allah means by this parable? So you missed it. And it was designed so that you would miss it, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that's a whole nother class.
That's a whole nother class. So what I'm basing my study on is I'm looking at the washing of the feet, just clearing the terms in Arabic and seeing how we can, being that the minister's talking about Dianetics, and he makes the statement of washing the feet, saying, okay, what is the relationship between the washing of the feet and Dianetics?
Okay.
That kind of makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, since he made the statement, and I'm going to assume that this statement was in the context of the subject in which he was talking. Now, interesting. So all I did was say, okay, let me look at the word wash and let me look at the word feet. Clear those terms in Arabic, and let's see if there's something that connects it to the text. So when I looked at the word wash, the word wash means that the Arabic word is ghasala, Ghasala. Okay. Ghalasa, ghasala. It means to wash, it means to cleanse, it means to clean, and it means to purge. Okay. Now, remember on page 81 of Our Savior Has Arrived, the Most High Elijah Muhammad said that your mind would be made clean, right? But did we ever ask the question of how can one's mind be made clean? It means the mind has to be something that's substantive, right? The mind it's not just a mystery thing floating around in space or something floating around in our head. The mind has to be something, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And again, when you get into the study of neuroscience, You're really getting into the study of mind. That's what the mind is. Okay. Study guide number 18 is a good place to start and then branch off and do another study. That's mind. Now, guess what else the word gasala means in Arabic?
Where?
Let me pull up the receipt. Oh wait, no, I want that one. I want put this down. Let me put that down. Let me see if I can. Okay, why won't it let me? Wait, fine. Let me do this real quick. Okay. Let's see if it lets me do it now. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, look at the word gasala. It means to wash, to cleanse, to clean, to purge, to cleanse. What's the next word?
Clear.
Clear. Okay. To
Look
clear.
at the bottom one.
To wash. It's also the word used for when we wash before we make salat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I just want to have that receipt to show that when we look at the word, so if we're washing the feet and we're looking at the fact the minister is saying this during the time he's speaking about Dianetics, that the word wash is connected to being clear. But now, guess what else the word wash is connected to?
Right.
It's connected to the discharge of wounds.
Yeah.
But isn't that what processing is all about? Discharge?
Mm-hmm.
You have an emotional wound and you're trying to get what? You're trying to get charged, right? And then once you can touch the emotion and touch the charge, you want them to discharge that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It also means a spring of water. Well, aren't you trying to get them to cry? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So in Arabic, the word wash is connected to all of the terms in the tech that are describing the outcome of a skillful auditor doing the job of getting a person to discharge their emotion. All of that really is summed up in the one word, gasala. Go ahead, Sister Angela.
Okay. So it's becoming very apparent to me that, see, I kind of do past and present and future type of calculations when it comes to the tech. And it's what caused the minister to start with the laborers. And like that little animation you sent about Yakub, and it mentioned the sister that I put after you. It mentions Yakub's laborers and how these laborers stuck to the path that he mapped out for them and was able to carry out what was in his mind, right? Okay, so the minister is washing the feet of the laborers first. So it seems that with our writing our letter, reciting, and becoming a registered Muslim, it cleaned us up. I know it cleaned me up to a certain point, because then the test is, can I handle power and authority? And it's not that I am going to, become like the slave master, because this problem existed before the slave master.
Mhm.
It existed in Shabazz, right? So it seems to me that the minister, and Allah showed him, and it shows us too what time it is. In Closing the Gap, I believe it's page 104. The minister said that Master Fard Muhammad came here to make us equal with the scientists that write history in advance. So, and that's one of the major scientists, I believe. So, if that is true, and it is because Farrakhan says so, praise to Allah. It stands to be reasoned that, and it makes sense now, Brother Luke. My only those that were at a certain point already in the teachings those were the only ones that's going to take to the tech, because it's the graduation. I know people, or what they call bean soup scientists, that whoop the hell out of people every chance that they get, but that's not the illuminated path. And
Right.
we got to ask ourselves, he says, D'Angela, what made Jesus, aka the minister, wash your feet before the journey and not after the journey? And that's deep right there,
Mhm.
right? Because if my feet are clean when I start the journey, I will be able to see where I'm going, and I would notice when I got a blemish, right? Okay, I'm still chewing on it.
Praise be to Allah. I'm trying to find that statement in Closing the Gap.
Okay, let me look for what I just said.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, ma'am. I want
Okay, I
you
know,
mentioned
I know what you mean.
you gotta have those receipts, and I'm not saying it's
I
not.
think
I
the
remember seeing it.
104 is 110, but I know if I text Brother Taquan, he'll tell me exactly where
Yeah,
it's.
right. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
I'll find it.
All right, thank you. Sister Sharon, hands up.
Okay. I came at this, but it came from a slightly different place. I woke up with a problem this morning, and the problem caused me to ask the question of the Bible story about Moses and Joshua, and why was it that Moses did not get to take the people into the promised land?
Hmm.
Okay, so then I kind of wrestled with it and wrestled with it, and it's like, well, Moses's job was to bring law to the people because they were all over the place. So he gave them law and structure and discipline and identity and order. That was also the main job that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had, was to do that part of it. Then next came Minister Farrakhan, and his focus seemed to be different from that of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because he's seen as like the redeemer, or the one to bring salvation. So he often talks about the price being paid, and seemed like he came to deal with our restoration of our souls, because so he gave us Dianetics, right, to restore, because we had guilt from things that weren't ours, and we had self-hate that was not based in something that we did. And sometimes I feel so much the heaviness of that. So it seems like he he is the Jesus. So Moses's job was to bring the people a certain distance. I kept reading that biblical story wrong. I kept saying, well, just because Joseph struck the rock and forgot to say it in the name of God, that God punished them and said, you won't take the people into the promised land. Joshua would do that. But Joshua and Jesus is the same person. So it's like you need to have discipline to bring you a certain distance, but that's not going to take you the whole distance. The soul has to be restored too.
Mm.
So like both of them were to bring us to zero because we were below the ground. We were not on zero. And so then I asked the question, well, what's going to take us from zero up? And that's the new message is going to. So all of this is the preparation to get you to begin the movement from zero up,
Mm-hmm.
up to what is heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And so Dianetics, the washing of the feet. So the washing of the feet is, the message is service. I am your servant. I am here to give this to you. And as I give it to you in that spirit, you give it to each other. So the foot washing is to keep the path clear to, that's what Dianetics gives us. It frees us from a different kind of dirt. Like, so washing the feet is a physical dust,
Mm-hmm.
but the dust of the world gets on us too. And then we have aberrations and we don't think clearly. So there needs to be a constant washing of that part of us.
Mm-hmm.
And then and the reason that can't take you the whole distance is because what the Dianetics offers is nothing spiritual in it. It's not meant to deal with the spiritual aspect of us. That is what Master Farad gave, like the wisdom that he gave us that we couldn't unlock yet, was because the spirit was so destroyed and our physical bodies were so destroyed because we weren't disciplined that we can benefit from the lessons. We just can't benefit from them. So all of that was to get us in the door, clear the mind, clean up the body. So you got to go do the sweat thing and you take the vitamins, clean all that up. Now you're clear according to Dianetics. You're on zero now. Now you are really accountable for what you do because there's no aberration in you. You can make clear decisions about where it is that you want to go. So redemption restores the person. Foot washing, like, is like the maintenance kind of, and like the Dianetics gives us the clarity of mind to be aware of the choices that we make. So like it's interesting because I never thought of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan together trying to bring us just to zero, just to bring us, like we were really messed up, brother. Like we were really, you know what I mean? And it took 40 years from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, then it took all of these years from the from Master Minister Farrakhan just to get us, and then Dianetics just to get us to zero. And we're not old and we're not there yet. I'm not there yet. Anyway, that was a long ways around, but it made a lot of sense to where I started from this morning and what was bothering me so much. It's like Moses brought law and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had to bring law to us. So everything was strict and eat like this, and the people's health got better, and the blood pressure went down, and the diabetes went away, and it was like that, and he hammered it hard. And if you didn't do right, he put you out the nation because that was Musa, right? Put a backburn in them, stand them up, make them do right. And then came Minister Farrakhan to deal with the other part. Now you need to understand why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave you that part. You were a baby then, you couldn't chew anything more than that. So he gave you that. Now it's time for you to grow. And so then, his emphasis went to a different aspect of our development. Anyway, all praise is due to Allah. I want to thank you for that.
No, Sister Sharon, that was an incredible assessment. Would anyone else like to comment on that? Because there's a lot in that. Well, it's really quiet in here today. Going once, going twice. Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Sister Sophie.
I'm listening to Sister Sharon. I'm looking at the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, taking you as a child and showing you that your legs actually work for you. You can hold yourself up and actually how to move. And then I thought it just came to me as Prophet Muhammad reformed the whole of that area in 23 years. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, if I knew it was going to take me this long, but it actually shows that taking this long, how bad of a condition we actually were in. And everything has been done and stopped. And because we're also hard-headed, stiff-necked, and rebellious, we're people that never was before. That's a lot in itself to even try to comprehend about us as people, because we think because we dress well and we have money, we're free. And that was the white man's tool to make you comfortable in your condition. And then when you see the Minister Farrakhan, he didn't deal too much on the law. He dealt on your connection to God. And with the brother who you said made a comment on supreme wisdom over technology, he could have got stuck right there when they was told you that the black man is God. Because some people do get stuck there and they like that. And although we haven't manifested that yet. And we can't discard everybody else because God does not. I was in a meeting one time and they're still talking about God. Here we are in judgment. And God is going here to wipe out the devil. And I was like, oh, number one cheerleader, that's me. And the brother says, you have to look at what was the white man made for. I said, to turn us inside out. He said, well, did he do that? And I said, yes. He said, well, can God just actually wipe him out for doing what he was made to do? And that made me sit back and think like, wow, okay. Because there's mercy. There's mercy, but there's also mercy for us, but only to an extent. So the different parts that people play in our development, it's really amazing because this is all under the handiwork of God, because he knew what condition we was actually in. And even with Mr. Hubbard and what he has to offer us, it couldn't be offering us to way back then because we were not in the position to have it. God doesn't give you anything until you're ready. And so that's my say. Thank you.
No, thank you, Sister Sophie. That's again, I'm glad we're recording this because I mean there's a lot in that. One of the things I'm getting from what the statement you just made is some of us believe it says, we say the black man is God. And we think that God doesn't have impediments. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. I'm saying that based on the past, the God that caused the deportation of the moon, he was a God, right? But now when you want to destroy everything, isn't that kind of like an aberrated kind of thought?
The left-hand side of him, yes, sir.
Okay. So saying I am God is not enough. And quoting that lesson is not enough. Now, for me, when you go to that lesson, the word black man is inside parentheses. Now, looking at that mathematically, when you do PEMDAS, what's the first thing that you have to solve? Come on, mathematicians.
Parentheses.
You got a PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Parentheses is the first thing you have to solve. And when you get to the level of algebra and calculus, what's inside the parentheses is called the inner portion of the equation. And you have to solve the inner portion of the equation first, don't you?
Yes, sir.
So when you look at that lesson, in the lesson, dealing with the 5%, if you look at your lesson, the word black man is inside parentheses, isn't it? So it says they know who the living God is and teach that the living God is the equal sign, isn't it? Mr. Farrakhan said, what you see is, that's an equal sign.
Yes.
So the living God is, that means everything that is on the right side of the word is has to be solved in order to figure out what living God means. Make sense? So living God would be on one side of the equation or equal sign, and then the Son of Man, the supreme being, the black man of Asia would be elements on the other side of the equation, right?
Mhm.
That means in order to understand who the living God is, you have to know who Son of Man is, supreme being, and black man, but black man's in parentheses. That could mean that has to be solved first, correct?
Absolutely.
Because if you can't solve black man, then you can't get to supreme being and you can't get to Son of Man. Black man is in parentheses. In the order of operations in mathematics, parentheses has to be solved first. The inner portion of the black man needs to be solved first. And that's what the Dianetic is helping us to do, is dealing with the inner part of man that is causing us not to be able to, as Sister Sharon said, to be able to benefit from our lessons. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Sister Angela.
Okay, so it's closing again, page 104, next to the last paragraph. So one must approach the study with deep honor and respect and love for the one, capital O11, who came in W2, who studied 42 years to deliver us, for the one who broke the circle of the gods to bring us into equality with those men, these very great scientists. Yeah,
Praise be to Allah. Thank you for that receipt.
praise be to Allah.
No, finish it. Finish that paragraph, Sister
Okay,
Angela.
I'll finish. I was going to say, when we begin to look at it in this manner, we can begin to perceive the value of the 6 lessons that Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, left with us for us.
There you go. Praise be to Allah. There, we got the receipts. That's page 104.
Yes, sir.
Close
Next to
the
the
book.
last paragraph.
Huh?
Next to the last paragraph at the bottom.
There you go. So now I got that one written on the scroll of my brain. Page
Yes,
104. That's the 104 rule.
okay.
That's the 104 rule. Thank you, Sister Angela.
Praise be to Allah.
Sister Sharon, your hands up.
So thinking about this like sequentially and everything,
Ooh, yes.
I'm reminded of the fact when Minister Farrakhan teaches about the Muslims in the East, and if we equate them to be living in an era of Musa, they've been given the law, but Minister Farrakhan said, law doesn't change your heart. It just will cause you to hide that which isn't right and do your dirt in the dark, right? So when Minister Farrakhan came on the scene, then that was his attack. That was, you could dress like that if you want to. Your dress doesn't make you who you are. You know what I mean? Like, so the purification of the heart, like you like to talk about whatever, but if that transformation doesn't take place, if that chemical reaction doesn't happen, then everything else is for naught. So you can actually see how together, and I've always wanted to say, I guess I'm going to say in the class, and then you all can correct me. But every time I think about Master the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Master Farad Muhammad, and Minister Farrakhan, Christians kept saying it 3-in-1. They kept saying 3-in-1. Well, it's not 3-in-1, but
Yes.
there were three. There are three, right? To do one job, which is to get us to rebirth us, to give us back that which was lost. And just so many things start to make sense. And I want to say, but I don't know if you really understand me. I have heard so much of this so many times, and it's not till now that it's till I stopped being a coward and saying that I had to believe it. I don't really mean believe it the way I heard it, but because I didn't venture out to prove what was said to me was true. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because it wouldn't go out and prove it, then you kids keep saying it a certain way, but that's not necessarily what it takes for the information to settle it, for you to be satisfied that I have proved it. And what's been happening in this last about 10 days has been phenomenal. I'm sorry that there isn't time and space here, because I would like to share with another fellow traveler, not just what I came to, but the route at which I came to it. You know what I mean? Like the journey is sometimes greater than the destination, because the journey is the formula, is the way by which you got there, and you have to have a lot of respect for the ins and out and the turns in the road that bring you logically to a given place. So what's happening now is my brain is having a hard time. My speech is having a hard time keeping up with my brain, because some of the concepts are new and it feels like I can see it, but there's this very sheer piece of fabric that's sitting over it. So I see it, but I can't always, it's a little bit slippery sometimes, but it's definitely coming more into focus, and it is a marvelous thing to witness. So it's happening to me, but I'm also a witness of it. I'm not like so much in the process that I don't see the process as well. And if I wasn't trying to work out something for myself, do you know what I mean? Like all things work together. So you might start out on a path to do one thing, but actually what you might discover in the process is greater than the thing that you set out to do. All praises to Allah. All praises to Allah.
So what you're saying is you have a wealth of information that you would like to share with the believers. Is that what I'm hearing? Based on your journey?
That's what it sounds like to me.
Is that what you're saying, Sister Sharon?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because I'm like you, I'm different from you, but I'm like you in that you're the mathematician, see? So you're kind of fascinating to me, because I keep saying, I don't understand much math, but I was underplaying myself because I was understanding math, but from a different perspective. So math exists in more than one dimension.
Yes,
and that's what I'm beginning to understand. And I'm finding the learning process of getting there is very interesting. It's real, it's fluid. It's not just remember this, and if I remember this, I'm a good Muslim, and if I follow this rule, I'm a good Muslim. I'm starting to question a lot of things that I just accepted. And that's why when you started off in this meeting and you said, could the person that comes and just drops a comment like that, like, could they be this or could they be that? Or could they just not be a thinking person? And if they could do all those things you said, they wouldn't be all messed up. Because that's the behavior of somebody that's not messed up. So, yeah, anyway, sorry. I just get like.
So Sister Sharon, here's going to be my next question. Here's my next question. And I think that there might be some others that would agree with what I'm about to ask you. Could you formulate and organize your thoughts and present this coming Sunday?
I'm trying to organize my thoughts and I'm writing, but I feel like it's a little bit like an octopus and it has a lot of tentacles. And
Mhm.
one of the things I'm struggling with is how to hold a thought. So I'm trying to write a strand, and then I
Mhm.
see another connection, and
Yes.
it's hard to hold them all still long enough to then compare them this way. You know what? Because there's a lot of relationships, and sometimes it makes me very dizzy. And I mean, like, it can make me physically dizzy
Yes, ma'am.
because it's like, oh, and so what could that be? And it's like, oh, and you know what I mean? So I know I couldn't do it for Sunday.
Okay, but would you be willing to share? Would you be
If I
willing to
could get it
share
down
it,
to a point where I could,
like
yeah,
organize it into like a presentation?
I would like to do that because I would like to see if any of it is valuable to
Oh,
somebody else.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's valuable. I'm ready to turn. I'm ready to turn the screen over to you and let you just finish the rest of the Zoom meeting. What you're saying is very valid and very important and very interesting. I know to try to get you to do it Sunday might be a little, a little fast, but I would have whatever Sunday that you could be ready. I believe all of us would be anxious to hear what from your perspective what you would have to share with us based on your experience and your journey with this because I know I'm definitely interested.
What about what you shared with me, Sister Sharon?
Oh, it's hard to decide where to start the thread. But
I mean, you took
I,
it and I think you took and created an understanding that related to you. You're a painter, so I'm sorry, you're an artist. So you express with imagery. You also see into a thing.
Yes.
That's what I got and more from what you wrote, what you shared with me. And I think that is very
Unique.
I
profound.
think one of the hardest things we have is to be able to value, is to be able to value the gateway that's in front of us. And a lot of times we go past it because we don't think that's as valuable as what we see across the way. So, like, I would never question somebody who studied medicine. I would never question somebody who understands the purity of mathematics. I wouldn't because in my mind, I value mathematics more than the gift that is mine. I couldn't see the value. And part of it is because I can't look out in the world and see where somebody used it in a valuable way.
Well, this is a dying world. You
That's like,
have to keep that in mind. And whatever Allah brings up in us, see, this is your challenge right now. You have to challenge yourself to know what is being revealed to you is valuable. And when you start challenging it, it's not going to be a question anymore.
well, that's what's happening. That's what I'm about to say is happening. But the how you get
Yes, ma'am.
there, and I wonder how many of us feel lost or feel inadequate because we haven't found a thread yet that we could pull on that takes you to the next. The journey has to be begun in earnestness. I don't think you can start this journey intellectually. I don't think you can start from an intellectual
Mm-mm.
position.
You
You
start
have to
wherever
start from
you
a
start
spiritual,
from.
hungry. You have to be hungry, and I think you have to be, in some sense, beaten down because you got to say, "Uncle." You know,
So
if everything's going fine for you, you're not gonna do that journey. You do that journey
it
when,
depends on the person, and you're building a construct around your mind that you're going to have to eventually knock down. Don't say something has to go this way and it has to go that way. If you see the train come and jump on, you understand what I'm saying? When the understanding comes to you, don't bound it, release it. And see, it's like throwing a fishing line. That's why fishermen is a very beautiful ideology. Throw the line. Stop doubting. Stop creating this construct that would cage it in. free the lion from its cage.
Let me just add this one point. Well, actually, Sister Anya, you go ahead and go first, and then I want to add a thought. But go ahead, Sister Anya.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Okay, I'm glad you let me go before I forget the thought. But I was out of the room. I had to take a business call, and I came back in on the tail end of what Sister Sharon mentioned about the difficulty in holding on to the thought that she mentioned the tentacles going out in all different directions. And so it was difficult to hold them all and pull that all together. And as she said that, it made me think of Master Fard Muhammad and how we've heard that he's able to be in multiple places at once. And, you know, we probably, when we hear that, we marvel at that. But then, you know, maybe some of us ask, well, how is he able to do that? And I'm not saying that I have the answer of how, but when we look at the word clear and the process, the Dianetic process and the process that Master Fard Muhammad is taking us through to be able to clear the mind, it makes me think of that's an ability that we will grow into as we get clearer and clearer and evolve in the lessons and in the teachings that Master Fard Muhammad is bringing to us in the many different forms, and that we will then eventually be able to have all of these different thoughts and be able to go down each tentacle at the same time, and we'll be able to hold all of those thoughts, bring them in and be able to explain them clearly. And it won't be, the difficulty factor of doing that won't be there. And I won't have to hurry up and hope that you'll hurry up and answer, allow me to speak so that I don't forget the thought. And in truth, oftentimes that's why we interrupt people when they're speaking to say our thought, because sometimes it's like, if you don't say it now, I'll forget.
Forget it.
Yes, sir. So I just wanted to say that. That was
Yes,
it.
ma'am. Thank you, Sister Anya. Couple of quick points, real. What Sister Sharon said reminds me of a scene from The Matrix. There's a scene where Neo starts to wake up, and Neo says, "My eyes hurt." And Morpheus said, "That's because you've never used them." Remember that scene?
I never saw the movie, but I can
What? What? That's sacrilegious. You got to see The Matrix. Anyway,
I'm not a movie watcher.
okay.
Really,
But the you know, when I first saw that movie, I was wondering I was like, what does he mean he never used them? But then I realized the whole time that Neo was in the Matrix, he was in that vat of goo. His eyes were closed, and everything that he was perceiving was going on in his mind. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So when he was finally found by Morpheus, and they had to basically reawaken his body now. He was awake in reality, correct?
The real world.
And he says, "Why do my eyes hurt?" Morpheus said, "Because you've never used them." It's like what you're experiencing, Sister Sharon, I understand 1000%. And the note that I wrote down is, it's the reawakening of the God ability. So one of the things that I do, this is just me personally, because every time I sit down and study, I have those same experiences where I'm writing down, my intention is to do this. And then I'll write this and I'll see something. I'll say, ooh, and there goes one of the tentacles. So what I do is I write that down on the heading of a separate sheet of paper. I put that there. So I'm writing on this paper. When I get that epiphany or the first tentacle, I take a separate sheet of paper, I transpose, I rewrite that new thought on the fresh piece of paper and what was part of that thought, and then I come back to where I was. I come back and focus on what I was doing. And as I see a new idea, that goes onto a fresh sheet of paper. I write that down. That way I don't lose the thought. And then I come back here and I finish what I'm doing. Does that make sense?
I'm trying to do that. But
Okay.
I just find that I got a lot of pieces of papers, you know.
It's going to take some time because your eyes hurt because you haven't used them before. Meaning, it's almost like reawakening a part of you that's been dormant for thousands of years. That's one way that I'm looking at it. Now, why is this so important? I was running this back and forth in my brain, I think it was yesterday. Sometimes I just have these little, it's funny. This is just, I've been doing this for years. Sometimes I imagine myself in a room giving a lecture. And then I imagine someone in the audience posing a question. You do the same thing, Sister Sharon?
Yeah.
Okay. And so then, and sometimes the question is not, it's almost as if I didn't produce the question came from within me. And then I picture myself at the rostrum, how would I answer that question? If I drive long distance, sometimes what I like to do is I drive without the radio. I don't want to hear anything. And I'm driving, but in my mind, I'm giving a lecture. And then sometimes there's someone in the audience that poses a question. And I think, okay, how would I answer that question if someone
I'm
asked
saying it
me?
out loud. Hey, I'm talking to myself. You know, let me just put it out here on the table. It ain't happening inside of my head. I'm by myself. Because I need to hear myself say it. It's
Praise be
not
to
good
Allah.
enough that it's a thought. I
Okay.
need to hear the words, and then I challenge the words. So I'm talking backwards and forwards to myself out loud all day long
Okay.
while this is happening. So make of it whatever you want, but that's how it works.
We don't think you're schizophrenic, Sister Sharon. We know that this is just the reawakening. It's what's taking place. But the reason why this is so important, what I was going through my mind the other day was the question came to mind is why should we not be envious of the gifts of other people? Because sometimes we'll look at someone else's gift and we get angry and envious because that person is manifesting something, and the what that is, what the response that came to my mind is we only get envious of the gifts of other people when we have not yet found a gift that's unique to ourselves. And then this whole scenario popped in my head. It was like in my head, the question was when the Savior gave out the assignments of the pieces that had to be made for the mother plane, right? None of the scientists knew what the other scientists were doing, correct?
Right.
Every scientist had their part that they had their assignment. And I said to myself, now what if scientist A found out what scientist B was doing and then got envious and said, well, why is he doing this part of the engine? That's the part that I should be doing. So then if you have these different scientists finding out, and based on envy, they could decide amongst themselves, I'm more qualified to produce that part of the engine. Why did Master Farah Muhammad give me this part of the engine? So now what they would have done is, out of envy, they'd have said, you know what, I'm gonna do the part that I want to do. And then next thing you know, the mothership wouldn't have got built because there would have been duplicate pieces over here, and there would have been some pieces that were missing. What does that got to do with us? Instead of us being envious of the gifts of other people, we have to realize Allah has given us something unique so that we will bring our piece to the table. And I heard Brother Nuri, when he talked about the mother plane, but he was talking about the mother plane like a plane of consciousness. Because if you, Sister Angela, if you could you just look up the word plane real quick in the dictionary?
Yes, sir.
Look up the word plane. So a mother plane, if you look at it from a plane of consciousness, if it's a mother plane, it's a level of consciousness that gives birth to new thoughts, new concepts, and new ideas. Because and our Savior has arrived, if you start around page 120 and go to about page 125, the Most High Elijah Muhammad speaks about how the Savior is to produce a new world and new universe, but he's going to do this through the minds of renewing people. And these people would play a part in the building of a new world and a new environment and a new universe. Then these people would have a new mind, and through them, the new world comes into existence, correct?
Yes, sir.
But I can't reproduce what Sister Angela's doing, and Sister Angela can't do what Sister Sophie's doing. All of us have our own individual unique assignments, and we need to manifest our assignment. So when we come together, we're bringing together the kingdom of God. But each
We
one of
understand.
us is bringing a piece and a part of the puzzle.
We understand it intellectually, brother. The problem is not that of intellect. The problem is
I know.
on an emotion, or that I feel less than you because I have this. Not that I am jealous of what you
No, no, no,
have.
no, no, no. I understand that, Sister Sharon. What I'm saying is this. This is why the tech is important, because we all have these viruses and malware running in the background of our computers.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
of us are experiencing this on certain levels. Some of us have had some of the malware removed, and some of us have not. So what I'm saying is, I understand what you're saying 1000%, but that's why the tech is so important, because what you're, and I'm gonna say this in a very humble manner, it sounds like you're dealing with circuits and valences, something from the past that's saying that you're not worthy. You're not
Yeah.
as good. You're not supposed to be as good as me. You have to be your best self. You got to be the best you. And that comes from the tech is what is needed to, as Sister Angela said, the tech, the modern equipment is what lets the lion out the cage. So the tech will let Sister Sharon out the cage.
Can I give you that?
Oh, yes,
That
ma'am. Yeah, the definition for plane. Yes.
Okay, so the first one is a flat surface on which a straight line joining any 2 points on it would wholly lie. That's key to me because it's a path and it's the washing of the feet, the removing of the demon circuits, the removing of the engrams. Because if I cross over from Angela's path to somebody else's path, I'm off my path.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the second one is a level of existence, thought, or development. Now listen to the words that are similar. Level, stage, degree, standard, stratum, position, a rung, echelon, and footing in particular.
I'm glad you said footing, because I'm glad you said that. But go ahead, finish.
Oh, that's it.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
I'm sorry, completely level or flat. So
okay.
when we completely level,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's oneness.
Keep going. There should be there's another one specific I'm looking for.
Okay, let me keep going. Oh, this one has a bird or an airborne object. And,
There should be something dealing with consciousness.
okay, maybe we have to go a little bit further.
Yep.
Well, a level of existence. That was the
Okay.
thought or development. So
Okay.
that would be consciousness.
Okay. So that's the mother plane. And so, Sister Sharon, what you're experiencing is, and I know I do it every day. You have something in that you have a gift, but now there's something in you telling you to hide your light under the bushel basket. Does that make sense?
No,
Am
brother,
I am
just
I
the
am I
opposite's
off? Am I
happening.
off? Huh?
You're off right now because something else is happening, which is what's making everything go because it's coming out
The
now.
light is
It's
blinding.
not
Okay.
you understand what I mean? Is the inverse is what's
Man,
happening right now is the
man,
beginning of the coming out because the gift, the thing that I have had and held and wanted for so long, but there must surely be something more to the point, more related to the teachings that I can do. But how? How? So I've been
Okay.
asked how for a long time. And so now I'm beginning to see how.
So let me correct myself then. What you're saying is this is coming from you is so powerful that it's hard for you to get a grasp.
Right,
That makes
May,
perfect sense.
may I
right.
interject?
Go ahead, Sister Angela.
Um, with I get by the will of Allah, I received my copy of The Trail of the Octopus yesterday. The book that was banned that I shared, I say the minister mentioned it on Savior's Day 1996, and he said get a copy because he had his. So I got mine yesterday and listening to Sister Sharon mention the tentacles, and then Sister Anya saying how Allah is in many places at the same time. I got the gist of this book just from listening to the minister's lecture, and I read some of the foreword yesterday. So this is 8 arms traveling in different places, gathering different things, all belonging to the same head.
Mhm.
And the lesson I see humbly for Sister Sharon is this. The minister said in the lecture, and then I had to kind of double back. First, I'm going to say this. In the 10 ministries, the minister did the 10 ministries based on the 10 systems of the body. Every ministry has its part. Every system of the body has its part. And there is no big I's and little U's. It's a working system that is united, unified, and working for the same cause. That's why and when we find ourselves unwell or diseased, that's because, part of our system is not playing its part. All right. So back to, the minister said in one lecture, and inshallah I'll find it, but somebody might remember this. He said when Allah called us into existence, he didn't say, you be a doctor, you be a lawyer, you be an astronaut, you be a physicist, you be a brain surgeon. He said he called us into existence to be gods. So don't limit yourself to one thing. Because sometimes we can stare at something or focus on something for so long while so many other things going on around us that we can take and express a lie. And that's a beautiful sentiment. May Allah bless you for your intention to give him praise through your gift. And that's what David is about. David's life is a song of praise, one sweet song of praise to Allah. However, you are more than you think you are. And I know sometimes putting on big shoes is uncomfortable because we don't think that we can fill them. However, that little sperm that made it up that vaginal tract and mixed into the egg and mixed with ovum, we are all manifestations of the will to be. So we are stronger, and sometimes we lean on each other. I love the Zooms because this helps fortifies my mind. This, and then you gotta add this into your equation. After we get off the Zoom, we go back into certain worlds that does not help build that character up in us. So we have to. We were on the call with Sister Inyame yesterday, and it was an epiphany of mine because when one of my sisters come to my apartment, she always say, "Why don't you have the TV on?" So I allowed that to make me turn the TV on, only to get back to where it begins. I know why I turned it off. I don't want my mind there. And when my mind is there, my vibration is low. So
Good
high
word.
conversation and high thoughts, sis. I had to put a big note on my bedroom door because I made sure I saw it every day. That Allah's reality and his love is the only real love in reality. We fighting. We are fighting for Islam and we will surely win. And what that does that mean to us? We are free, equal, and justified. Because Allah said so. So we tell those devils, get thee behind me. I tell the other, because I got Angela and Angie, Diane, Ajuel Divinity, and I got a few more sisters that live within Angela. And sometimes Angela has to take the reins because the other ones, they're crazy in some sense. But at the same time, as Sister Nyame would say, sometimes you have to let the lion roar. You justified to do that, Sister Sharon. And inshallah, I pray as you travel that you will have that beautiful epiphany.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sister Angela. I am looking forward. I am looking forward to when you say you're ready to present, because I'm just going to turn the reins over and make sure I got my notepad ready, because I am anxious to hear what it is that Allah is blessing you with. As everyone here has something to give, so a day is coming, Sister Sophie. I'm like, you ready? You ready to present? Like, all right, Sister Sophie, I know you got something as well, Sister Sophie, Sister Mary Jesus, as we call her, Sister Patricia, Sister Sharon, all y'all got something. Everyone here has something to present. I'm waiting to hear Sister Anya teach on quantum physics. That's what I'm ready to
I
hear.
know that's right.
I'm ready to hear her talk about the problem book and the fact that 1/100th of a cubic inch contains 200 million atoms. And I know she's just probably giggling or laughing in the background, but I'm serious. Everyone here has something. Everyone has something to present. So, Sister Sharon, when you're ready.
I'm working on it. I'm actively working and I found out something else too, like eating and eating and eating. Like I'm starting to see the connection between eating, like the different kinds of hunger that you actually have. And when the brain is just used to one way to eat, it tries to make that serve other purposes and it doesn't do it. And like yesterday, I sat down to work, and when I looked up, it was dark outside, and I didn't even know when it happened. It felt like an hour, and it had been something like 6 or 7 hours that I had been sitting there, just me and it, and what I'm trying to organize. And yeah, and I realized that I wasn't hungry because I actually was being fed by the ideas was actually sustaining me. See, so that let me have more compassion for myself instead of feeling bad. Oh, you didn't eat your one meal a day. You went and ate, and you, I can spend so much time beating myself up on that I didn't eat one meal a day. It's like the focus is on the wrong thing. Yeah, you didn't eat one meal a day, but why is the answer? Do you know what I mean? The behavior is not the root. The behavior is the branch. Can
Who's
we
really
find the
asking
root?
you
Can
questions?
we
I'm
find the
so
root?
sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's really
And
asking that question, Sister Sharon? Whose voice is really asking that question? Whose voice is chastising you for eating?
that's a good question.
Sound like
Sometimes you're so busy being beaten up that you don't think about who's asking it, but they're powerful and they just beat you up and beat you up. But I was noticing while it's dark outside, I didn't even want anything to eat. I didn't have to have willpower because it wasn't about willpower. So you beat myself up, or you don't have any willpower. What's wrong with your discipline? What it's like,
that sounds
you
like a
understand what I
that
mean?
sounds
It's
like
like
a circuit.
looking in the wrong place, asking the same question in the wrong place, so you can't get the right answer. Like water relief. Whoa, wasn't that at all. It could not have been that because you spent 7 hours and you didn't notice anything else. You didn't even want to stop and go to the bathroom because you were so excited. And then you realized your brain could probably work better if you stop and run to the restroom and come back. Because you're afraid that maybe you was going to lose that little piece in that minute that you ran. And it's like, oh, it's time to pray. But don't forget where it comes from. Stop and pray. Stop and pray. Really? Yeah, stop and pray. And it's been wild. It's been a wild time inside of my head lately. But it's been a party, and I would like.
He said it's been a party.
I would like to know that everybody get a chance to feel that feeling because it's new and it's like old things that are new. It's just, yeah.
He says it's like being inside my head, but it's been a party.
You know, Sister
Wonderful.
Sharon, as you were saying your comments, or the things that would produce a negative charge. Every time you said a sentence, it was like a bar on a cage. I could see the sentence in the vertical, and each sentence was
Wow.
a bar and a bar and another bar. The fact that the question is now in your mind, whose voice is that, is more powerful than the voice.
Whose voice is it? Whose voice? I have to go search that one down.
Sounds like someone's about to get straight wired or doing some lock scanning.
Well, we talk.
I know. I understand.
We talk.
Crazy.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody. I didn't mean to hog.
No hogs here.
No,
Thank
let's
you,
help.
Sister Sharon.
Let's help, because you actually are reminding me of how some of my very deceitful demon circuits can be, and it can be very convincing too, because sometimes it comes from people we love, sometimes it comes from people we admire and respect. However, it's a demon circuit nonetheless. Because when you watch a free child, their freedom of being and expression is, I think this is what Michael Jackson built Neverland for, because it is a beauty to be. It's a beautiful happening, being uninterrupted. So I said that because that's not the nature of us. We do not naturally beat ourselves down. So anytime that is happening, that's a foreign entity. And we must find it, we must uproot it, we must destroy it, then refile it.
And refile it without the emotion connection.
Without the charge, yes, sir.
All right. Everyone's good? Everyone's flowing?
I'm fine.
Everyone's good?
And oscillating, I think that's what you were feeling, Sister Sharon. You said you feel dizzy sometimes.
Yeah, that brain it's firing on all its pistons now.
Yeah.
It is.
There's a party in Sister Sharon's brain right now.
I know that's right. Can I go to the party?
Can we get a ticket? But Sister Angela, there was some key point that you had mentioned, and then after that, everyone can make their final statements, and we'll get ready to wrap it up. It's way past time. But like for me, the past couple of weeks I've been here, or the week and a half I've been here, I don't have TV, which is perfect for me, because the TV was shipped, down south. So basically, it's been here and a lot of silence. But here's a thought that came to my mind a couple of weeks ago, and you just triggered the thought, Sister Angela. Remember how the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad says in Hadith to Live, how the brain and the stomach are connected. What affects one affects the other.
Sir?
One day I was speaking about those words from Hadith to Live, and if what affects one affects the other, then based on what we call the law of correspondence, it would seem as though that as fasting from food heals the body, fasting from the world heals the mind. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but now watch this. Watch how this corresponds. And I'm gonna make this very, very brief. This might be the topic for a whole nother Zoom meeting. But there's three things that take place, three basic steps when we fast. Okay, so when we're eating, and I'm gonna use sugar as an example. Okay, because most of us we are carboholics. But the body is fueled by glucose or carbohydrates, right? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm looking at this as a start, change, stop. 3 steps, cycle of action. You consume glucose. Once we start fasting, within approximately 12 to 18 hours, whatever glucose we have consumed, and if we stop eating glucose or carbohydrates, there's no more carbs in the system. Make sense?
Okay. So,
Okay. So then what the body does is the body will shift. There's no more glucose. We got to pull the glycogen from the liver. We got to pull what's stored away. Makes sense, right?
yes, sir.
Okay. Your body changes its fuel system. No more glucose. We got to go into the reserves to get the glycogen. Now we got to use that. But once those stores are used up, what fuel source does the body shift to now?
Fat.
Ketones.
The ketones, right? Your body gets into what's called ketosis or the fat. Okay. And it's interesting. This will be another topic as well. The sun does the same thing. It's fueled on hydrogen, but at a certain time, when the hydrogen runs out, it converts to helium. And when it converts to helium, it expands. So it's eating in reverse. It's like it gets to its what would be its carbs, and then it gets fat. And that's kind of like why we gain in size, because of carbohydrates, right? Make sense? Okay. So now, glucose, glycogen, and then ketones. But when you do the research, the body actually works better off ketones, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, now think of this in the same light as fasting from the world. Okay, so for example, we feed on social media, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's social. So right now, social media is like Mickey D's for the brains, right? That's like Dunkin' Donuts for the mind. It's just pure garbage. As soon as you turn the TV off and you don't introduce those images into the brain anymore, what does your body have to do now?
The brain has to switch to something else because it's got to focus on something.
Right. So as the body switches from glucose to glycogen to what is stored, now what happens is when you turn off the TV, your mind will shift to images that have been stored. And in the tech, those are called facsimiles, right?
Yes, sir.
So the body is going to start searching for imagery to feed from to get us to go back to turn the TV on. Make sense?
Uh-huh.
Because when you stop eating sugar and your body hits the glycogen, that's when hunger pains kick in, and that's when the body is saying, I need sugar. Everyone follow that?
Yes.
Mind is doing the same thing. The mind is saying, I need images. I need, that's why some of us would turn the TV on. We're not even watching it. We're in the other room doing something, but we have to have sound. We have to have the radio on in the car. We got to have the TV on. Khalil Gibran said some people don't like silence because it reveals the nakedness of your soul. Sometimes silence will show us how empty our brain really is.
Fig leaves.
That is right. We use it to cover up our ignorance. So now what happens is if we can get past our brain having a craving for imagery. I got to get my phone. I got to get the Instagram. I got to play Candy Crush. I got to play chess. I got to get on the internet. I got to get to Facebook. Our brain is craving I won't even call it intellectual. Our brain is craving mental candy. Make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. In Buddhism, they call it the monkey mind because like a monkey jumps from tree to tree to tree. Our brain is jumping from, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to get that done, I got to go here, I got to go here. Why? The silence is driving me crazy. But if we can get past that silence, and now we get past all the imagery that our brain is trying to get us, we get to another level of peace where now we get the spiritual ketones. This is when we start to hear, why isn't the devil still on the best part of the planet Earth? Or remember the minister taught on this? We begin to hear the spiritual message because our mind has been made quiet. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mhm.
So I said all that to say this very briefly. And again, maybe down the road, we'll do a whole Zoom meeting on this. Fasting for the body parallels why we need to get off of social media. Social media is designed to keep us mentally fat, not intellectually fat, mentally fat, meaning our brain is occupied doing stuff, but we're taking in processed data, just like processed food. Data, meaning we're looking at stuff that's interesting, but it has no nutritional value in it whatsoever. It's just intellectually and spiritually been deprived of nutrients like processed food. Make sense?
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to add that point in conjunction with Sister Angela. But I would say that this has been a great, great Zoom meeting. Sister Sharon, I said it, I'm gonna say it again. I look forward to the time when you have enough organized where you can present, because I think we all, not just all of us here in the Zoom meeting, but I believe, here's the important part, Sister Sharon, the first Zoom meeting we did with this study material between Monday and Wednesday of that week, we had 514 views just in Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So Sunday, Monday, in 3 days, we had over 500 views. And what Allah is sharing with you, as Allah is sharing with each one of us in the Zoom meeting, realize that what you're saying is not just confined to these 9 people. There's hundreds of people. And what you have to share, Sister Sharon, might be the key that unlocks the mind of someone who's in a whole nother different part of the world. How would I ever have met 3 sisters from Bermuda if I had never been blessed by Allah to put that Zoom meeting on? And now here you, Sister Sophie, and Sister Jordan are here from Bermuda. What impact do you think you have worldwide by what each one of you have to share? What makes you think you have not impacted hundreds of people already?
We don't know. It's not, in a way, it's not our business, right? It's just our business to do the work.
It's not your business. Remember, in the Holy Quran, the third lesson of Moses and the wise man, the third lesson was that sometimes you have to do a good. He built the wall back up to protect the wealth for the orphan children, but the orphan children would never know that he did it. And that teaches us that sometimes we have to do good, and we're not.
It's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do, and the person who receives it will never know. You will never know that you've already touched the lives of perhaps hundreds of people by the work that you do. You'll never know, but Allah knows. So you still get the credit, you still get the blessings, you still get the reward, because Allah sees what you've done by presenting and how it affects other people. Allah has the score on everything going on right now, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
So I just want to emphasize that, Sister Sharon, and emphasize that for everyone that's on the Zoom meeting right now. If Allah is blessing you with a certain perception or a certain gift, I say like the minister, don't hide your light under a bushel basket, number one. And number two, this is a perfect platform if you feel like you want to present, and if you're comfortable enough speaking in this forum, the door is open for each and every one of you to present what Allah is blessing you with. But you just
I'm
have
happy to do it as soon as I just put a few more
you
pieces
got to tie up that octopus, Sister Sharon.
Just at least make it coherent so it doesn't sound like somebody jumping all over the place.
Yeah, I
But if
understand.
I had been able to get access to you this week, man, I'd have been snatching you and saying, look, brother, just make some time, just move over. You and I gotta talk. Because there's this need, you know how we come here to this meeting? Like the value of the space to bounce the idea off and see
Yes.
what comes back is what the world doesn't give us. And you just said that a little bit earlier, that's the space, and it's not that many spaces like this space where we come together for no other reason than to do what we're doing in the space. It's what we come to the space for, right? So it makes it a sacred space, really.
We want all the bean soup scientists. We want all the bean soup scientists. So, did you all see the picture of the bean soup scientist I had?
Yes, sir.
Oh, y'all didn't see it? Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let me see if I can find it, and then we'll wrap it up on that note.
May I say something?
Of
Not about
course
the
you
bean
can.
soup, but I would like it if we could meet during Savior's Day, if we are able to. What I mean is together, if we're able to, if we have time to gather together. Just a suggestion.
Oh, that's how I think the first we all connected during Savior's Day, and we all took a picture together. All the I think that was the first time I met Sister Angela. We took a picture with one another at Savior's Day. If you like, I can close out the meeting because at that time I'd be more than happy to show you those pictures real quick. It was all the Supreme Wisdom meets Supreme Technology. We all connected during Savior's Day.
Yes, please. That's beautiful.
So, let me pause this for. All right, let's go ahead and close out in prayer, and then I'll show you the pictures, and then we'll wrap it up. Anyone have any last questions, last thoughts before we end it? Going once, going twice. All right. Attention prayer. Okay. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, Master of the Day of Judgment in which we now live. Thee alone do we serve, thine aid do we seek. Please, Allah, guide us on the straight path, the path upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not the path upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor of those who go astray after they have heard thy teaching. Ameen.
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 All right, family, let me go ahead and end this part.